This is my Sony a7RV, and it's a brilliant camera in many ways. But there are also some things that annoy me. Join me as I tell you what bugs me. Now, the first thing that really annoys me is the power saving mode. Now, I've had cameras, digital cameras, all the way back to the year 2000, and they generally all have some sort of power saving mode. This one has a power saving mode as well. However, if I leave the camera on and it's hanging around my neck, or I put it in the camera bag and the viewfinder is close to the back of something, it keeps the viewfinder on and drains the battery. That means I can get to a new location, having had the camera in the bag, get it out and find the battery is maybe 30% of where it should be. It really bugs me, and I have to consciously remember to switch the camera off whenever I'm moving from location to location, which is not something I've had to do with other cameras, all of which have had iDetect viewfinders. Now, if there's a setting in the menu that can alleviate this problem, please let me know in the comments and I will switch it on straight away, because it really does bug me. Next, we're going to talk about NTSC and PAL. Now, these are archaic formats from the days of cathode ray tube televisions and monitors. They really have no relevance in today's modern digital era. So why does Sony make me switch between NTSC and PAL if I want to change my video frame rate from 25 frames per second to 24? It's just bizarre. I have to go into the menu system all the way down to the main settings at the bottom and then switch from PAL to NTSC just to change the frame rate by 1 frame per second. I just don't understand that. I really don't understand why they do that. I've not had another camera that shoots high quality video that does the same thing. The Fujis, you could literally go 24, 25, 29, 30, 50, 60, whatever speed you want, just by turning a dial. On the Sony, you've got to switch between two archaic formats, and I don't get it. Again, if there's a workaround for this, let me know in the comments below and I'll gladly apply it. Next up, we have picture profiles, and in particular the video picture profiles. The whole picture profile system seems very convoluted. You can't just dial in a picture profile. You have to either set it through a quick menu or through the main menus. Now, the thing that really bugs me here is that if I'm shooting video and I've set the picture profile to S-Log or S-Cinetone, something like that, a video-centric format, and then I switch the camera back to shooting photos in RAW, it applies that video picture profile to the RAW file. And when you import that into Lightroom, it really causes a problem. You have to switch everything back to a standard profile, which is usually like Adobe's standard profile. And there's no way of actually getting that original flat RAW file back. If there is, let me know in the comments. But having done a bit of research online, it does seem to be quite a common problem. Now, obviously, I have set the camera up with custom modes for video and custom modes for photography through the 1, 2, 3 settings on the top dial here. But it took me a while to realize and train my brain into the fact that I cannot set a video profile if I want to shoot RAW. I need to make sure that I go to one of my custom presets before I start shooting video. It's an annoyance. It's a strange one. I think it's just part of the strange ergonomics that Sony cameras seem to have compared to some of the other cameras. The next one is a biggie. This camera is obviously packed with immense computing power. It's an absolute beast of a machine. So why, when I'm shooting down low like this, and I want to move the camera up to my eye like this, does it take 2 to 3 seconds to transfer the image from the LCD to the viewfinder? I don't get it. Now, I understand this is not a wildlife or sports orientated camera, but it's packed with processing power. You should be able to move that image from the back screen to the viewfinder so much quicker. It slows you down. I like to work fast. I like to run around and get down so low shots and then get the camera up, get it to the eye and start shooting. And it slows you down. And I just cannot see any reason for it, especially when you've got such fast autofocus on this camera. You get up there and it's instantly in focus, but you're waiting for that viewfinder to kick in. Very strange issue. And it's one that I hope Sony might be able to sort out in a firmware update. Lastly is the age-old problem of the Sony menus. They are vastly improved from what I understand from previous generations of cameras, but they're still very, very convoluted. You have to sort of dive in and go into another subsection and then into another subsection again, and you have to select things and confirm things, and if you don't confirm it, it goes back or it drops out of the menu system. It's going to take some time. Obviously, if you're a regular Sony user, you've worked it out, you've got it, you understand how it all works, and I'm beginning to understand it. I watched Jared Poland's brilliant video on this menu system, and it really helped me. But it is very clunky, even compared to, you know, Fuji and other systems. I'm getting around it, and slowly I'm getting there, and I'm dialing in the custom modes and stuff like that, so I don't have to touch the menu too much. But there are times when you've got to delve into that, particularly if you want to change from NTSC to PAL. Trying to remember which section of the menu in that can really slow you down trying to find it if you simply want to change that frame rate. So they're niggles, but they're minor niggles, and they're things that I will work out over time. I will get it into my head how this camera works, and I am, as I go out every day in Bangkok, and tomorrow I fly off to Ho Chi Minh City to continue shooting with this camera. I will get it, but if Sony are trying to attract new users, particularly new users that have been in photography for a long time, they could streamline it a little bit, could make it a little bit better for you to be able to jump in and pick up that camera and understand it straight away. Ergonomically, the physical ergonomics, I think, are bang on. It feels just like every other camera that I've used in the last 20 years. You know, you can dial your aperture, your shutter speed in through the front dials. You've got an exposure compensation button. Physically, it's great, but some of the menu systems and some of the ergonomics and some of the design decisions within the menu systems are a little bit bizarre. That said, I love this camera, and I don't intend this video to be negative. It's more about pointing out what I've found is a little bit odd as a newcomer to the Sony system. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, a like and a subscription would be brilliant, and I'll see you in the next one, which could quite possibly come from Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam. I'll see you soon.